Hi, hello, and good morning. Here we have some porridge that I am cooking. It's about the only thing, to be honest, that I seem to know how to cook without burning it too much or, you know, setting anything, touch wood, on fire. The reason I'm eating porridge, even though a lot of people who do actually suffer with digestive problems like bile acid malabsorption, which I suffer from, and have to live with every single day of my life. Believe me, it is mentally and physically exhausting living with a condition where you have to always think about what you're going to eat and how it might affect you, not straight after eating it, but throughout the day or maybe a couple of days later. And porridge seems to be one of those things that, depending on how your bile acid malabsorption affects you as an individual, you can't always eat. Now, there are so many different ways to cook oats and prepare oats. Some people will just use water, and some people might add salt or honey or sugar. So when you're thinking to yourself, can I eat porridge if I have a digestive problem, such as bile acid malabsorption? The answer probably is yes, you can, but it depends on how you cook or process the porridge in the first place. Now, recently there was this health scare that was going around telling people that porridge wasn't as healthy as people thought it was. But they were confusing raw oats with things like ready break, or porridge that you can just add water or add milk to, put in the microwave for 2 minutes and then eat. Yes, I will admit a lot of those I have used in the past. It's convenience, okay? We're in the 21st century. People don't always make their own food anymore because life is such fast pacing. And one of the things I think a lot of people went back to doing was making their own food during lockdown. One, because you couldn't go to the shop to buy things that were instant. And two, because you basically had to use what you had in your house. So with this, there is water in there, but there is also milk. But the water that is in there was from a herbal tea that I tried and I forgot about it and it went cold. And so I have mixed the herbal tea with honey, with milk, and I have used raw oats. Now, oats, as far as I'm aware and concerned, are one of those ingredients or one of those staple dietary foods that is always going to be healthy for you, no matter what, okay? But if you do have a tolerance to things like gluten or even oats themselves, then yes, you're probably not going to be able to digest them and to eat them. But at the same time, it's what you mix them with. And the problem with today's society is that food is so heavily processed. And I had this discussion with a company, a Scottish company, that makes oat cakes. So, oat cakes, simple. There should just be oats and maybe a bit of a binding agent, maybe butter, a bit of salt, maybe a little bit of sugar for flavour. No, palm oil. And I says to them, why on earth have you put palm oil in oatcakes and are classing them as a traditional Scottish food? How can that be traditionally a Scottish food when you've put palm oil in it? As we know, palm oil doesn't grow in the United Kingdom. Palm oil is from abroad, it's imported from overseas. Palm oil is in 99.9% of probably everything that we put in our mouths today, that we eat, or that we may even drink. And the reason they told me that they put palm oil in the oat cakes, which, bearing in mind, oats, I can never say that word properly, are supposed to be healthy for you, it's because in order for them to then sell that product to a high street brand like Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, anywhere like that, the food that they were selling had to be able to be kept on the shelf for 6 months before having its expiration date. And the only way that they could guarantee that these oat cakes would have a 6-month shelf life was by putting palm oil in them. Yeah, that's correct. It's not because they wanted to. It's because in order for them to sell their product to a mass-produced market, instead of to the consumer or the customer directly, it had to have palm oil in to have what they call a 6-month shelf life. Turn that off, it's done. And this is the reason why a lot of food that we buy that is manufactured in an industrial way and processed industrially has got added preservatives and stuff in it that we as a species, not just us, other animals as well, can't always digest. So yes, we always try and we're now told, don't buy anything that's GM, don't buy anything with palm oil in, don't buy anything that has got gluten in, and all this, don't. But let's face it, yeah, you're going shopping. How many people have got time to physically stand there and read every single ingredient on the back of a packet? Unless you already know you have an allergy. And this is the problem that a lot of customers are now facing. Everything is so cheaply made, it is so highly processed that your body is not getting the nutrients that it needs. And this is why I strongly believe, that health problems, especially digestive health problems, are due to how processed food is. And I myself do have to be hypervigilant with what I eat and when I eat and how I eat. So, I can eat raw carrots, I can eat cooked carrots. I can't eat carrots if I put butter on them. People are saying, well, why would you put butter on carrots? Well, some people will put butter on vegetables. And it's that added ingredient. It's not the carrot that I've got a problem with. It's the added fat or trans fats or unsaturated fats that affect my digestive system. So it is really, 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 really hard for people to know what to eat, what not to eat, and how to eat it. My children say, I don't like tomatoes, but they'll eat pizza. And most pizza bases have got tomatoes on them. It's tomato puree. What they're saying is, we don't like eating tomatoes because we don't like the texture or the way it's presented to them. But if I was to give you a pizza, they would eat tomatoes. My sister used to hate potatoes, but she would eat chips. She would eat potato waffles. But you put roast potatoes in front of her, a jacket potato, boiled potatoes, mashed potato in front of her, she wouldn't eat it. And I think this is the thing that we have to do, not just for our children, but also as adults, is retrain ourselves into knowing what to eat and how to eat it and how to process it, so that we can educate ourselves and say, okay, if I do want to make mashed potato, don't get mash, get smash. I love that advert. I'm watching my favourite comedy programme. This is how you make mashed potato. Yeah, you can buy instant smash where you just add water, or you can add milk. I mean, who wants to stand there, boiling potatoes and then smashing them up, adding the ingredients that you want, knowing that it's going to be fresher and probably more healthier for you than something that has come out of a packet. But, time is money, and people just have lost the ability to be in the kitchen for longer than it takes a microwave meal to cook. So I'm going to stop being a little bit preachy now, and I'm going to eat my porridge. And hopefully my little boy will try some too. I was waiting then for a little voice to shout, no, I won't. I'm not eating that. But he didn't, so that's good. So when you are looking at obviously buying anything from a supermarket or even online, if you've got the time, please try and read the ingredients. educate yourself, re-educate yourself into what is actually in that food that you are purchasing. Because 99% of the time, it's not actually going to be the raw product that you are eating that is going to be affecting you. It's more than likely going to be all the added preservatives or the added sugar or the added salt or the added fat that is put into there. And if in doubt, seek medical advice. Speak to your GP. Tell your GP, I want to see a dietitian. You know, I need help. I need support. I need advice. Because again, they'll just say something like, keep a food diary. But when they really should be saying is, don't keep a food diary, keep a chemical diary. Or keep a sugar diary or a salt diary. Because believe me, the amount of added sugar and salt that is in preserved food, not to mention palm oil, is probably what is affecting a lot of people's health and well-being in today's society. So good luck and thank you for watching.